Drop a like on this video if you guys enjoyed. Comment down below your thoughts and your opinions about the video. Make sure to subscribe with post notifications on so you stay notified on every single video. Also, follow my social media so stay tuned for updates for incoming videos. Thank you. What's up guys, Still Crabs here, welcome back to another reaction. We'll be reacting to 3 true disturbing Halloween horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. So today's, well, by the time I'm recording this, it's like the night before Halloween. And by the time I'm uploading this, it will be on Halloween, so happy Halloween, guys. I hope you guys get a lot of candy and stuff. So, and well, comment down below what you're doing for Halloween. If you're gonna trick or treat at your friend's house or just by your neighborhood, and then just like trick or treating for like a few minutes, and then just going back to your house and eat all that candy. And I bet that people just wants to like trick or treat as many houses as they can, and then they're gonna have a night, like a lifetime of candy. And I'm gonna trick or treat at my friend's house, and plus comment down below what costumes you guys are gonna be for Halloween. I'm gonna be a T-Rex or a dinosaur, as you could tell by the last 2 videos. Like the unboxing of the inflatable T-Rex costume, and like that, like a boss, like I attempt to do like the limo with the dinosaur suit on, and I'm wasting a ton of time, and this video's 15 minutes, so I need to get this started. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Halloween horror stories. Oh man, that took a while, because I'm be talking a lot. Alright, whatever, let's go. Story 1.
Halloween 2016. My 3 friends and I, who for the purpose of this story will be named J, K, and L respectively, were trick-or-treating downtown. Downtown was always a mob scene on Halloween, only because the houses were so close together, meaning more candy for the amount walked. 10 o'clock was always the time things really started to die down, and by 10:30, we were really the only kids still out trick-or-treating.
Wow.
Only like 1 in 10 houses actually opened their doors this late. So we called it quits with the trick-or-treating and decided to just screw around. It was a Saturday night after all. As we called it quits with the trick-or-treating,
I remember that like Halloween used to be on during the weekends.
Really slowly from the black fog in the distance. This was a legit clown costume too. The makeup was crazy. From the slit mouth smile to the blood-filled boils. It was a scary costume.
Basically, all clown costumes are scary because they're clowns.
But ultimately walked away. We went to a park that was nearby to just goof around.
Let me guess,
make a mess with
the clown
silly
is
string
there.
and shaving cream and whatever. We weren't the first, however. Strands of silly string littered the playground, as well as shaving cream smudged on the walls of a bathroom building in the park to spell out obscenities. We all hung out on the playground, but Jay pointed out to the dark horizon, where 2 clowns were walking over to us. One of them the same clown from earlier. I didn't think it was possible, but the second clown was even more disturbing than the first.
Oh boy.
The first clown now seemed to be wielding some kind of long, spear-like object. They both approached us really, really slowly. The funniness of the situation quickly wore off as they got closer and closer. Then they started to charge us.
Oh no.
We all ran in different directions. One of the 2 clowns was chasing me. Out the park and down the street I ran. I didn't know the area too well, but I did know how to get back to Elle's house. I ran all the way there. About halfway there I lost the clown. I called Elle and told him I was in his backyard. He was out of breath, but he said he just lost one of the clowns and was on his way over now. I said I'd call Jay, and he said he'd call Kay. Luckily, Jay picked up on the first
J
ring.
K
He wasn't being
E
chased, so he didn't sound as freaked out as El did.
L.
I told him to meet
What
us
kind
at
of
El's
names were
house.
that? I
10
guess they
minutes
just
later,
made it
all
up.
4 of us were in El's backyard, gathering our thoughts and discussing what just went down. We had a good laugh about it now that it was over, as we ate some of the candies that we got. Kay went home, while me, Jay, and El hung out in the living room for a while. Lights off, TV on, playing some Xbox One party game. Jay looked out the window and then ducked, and told us to shh and turn off the TV. When we asked why,
Oh,
he said
no.
there was a clown out there.
Oh no, it better
I didn't
be not.
believe him,
It
so I looked
better
out the window.
not be the same one.
He screamed, "Don't," but it was too late. The clown standing outside of El's house looked right at me through the window.
Call the police. What are you doing
I
with
shut
your
the
life?
curtains and told El he wasn't lying. His parents weren't home, so going to his dad wasn't an option. Instead, we shut off the TV and went upstairs to El's bedroom. We looked out the window. The clown wasn't there anymore. Actually, we never saw either of the clowns again. But the next morning, El texted the 3 of us, saying he found a rubber clown nose on his backyard patio table. He said it was
What in the
obviously
wor-
placed there with intent to scare us, and mission accomplished because it worked. Luckily, that clown epidemic didn't last more than a month later. After that, it just became an old story.
That was weird. So far, the story.
It was a school
This
night
one
Halloween.
was quite
My
interesting.
mom and dad took my 2 twin
A
brothers
school
out
night.
trick-or-treating. I didn't have plans, so my parents kind of forced me to answer the door.
Same
and hand
here.
out candies
Tomorrow,
while they were
well,
gone.
by the time I'm recording this, it's
Since we live in a
a
cul-de-sac
night
on a
before.
dead-end
Like,
street, we get next to no trick-or-treaters
I'm gonna go
on
trick-or-treating,
Halloween, so every time the
well,
doorbell rang,
well,
I
not
kind of
that
jumped.
late. Not really at nighttime.
I was in
Like
the
probably in
living
the
room watching
afternoon,
TV,
later in
with
the
a bucket of
afternoon,
candies
or
next
the
to me on
evening.
a small table. Butterfingers, the one and only candy my mom always got on Halloween for some reason. The doorbell rang, so I took the orange bucket and brought it to the door. And
To be
opened
honest,
it.
I know it's stupid of me to
There
do
was someone in a
this, and you
scream
guys
mask
will
and
hate
robe
me.
holding out a pillow
Like
sign.
when
It
someone,
didn't look like he got a lot of candy
when
for the
trick or
night.
treaters ring my
And
door,
given
I
that
just
the night
want to
was
just
almost
ignore
over and
it.
nobody was really coming to the house, and he was alone, which is always kind of sad, I gave him a bunch of candy. He walked away without saying thanks, which kind of made me feel bad, but it was honestly whatever. I stopped thinking about it as soon as I sat back down on the couch. The movie I was watching ended, so I started surfing the channels. During one of the brief moments of silence as the TV flipped from one channel to the other, I heard a thud and a bump come from downstairs near the back door. To better hear what it could have been, I turned the volume on the TV
Better
all the
not
way
be
down
that
and went to
kid.
the stairway. The back door was wide open. My heart started racing as I started to feel sick inside. I had forgotten to lock it when I went back there. The big question was if what I heard was the sound of the door opening or closing, and if someone
Oh,
was in
no.
the house. Naturally, I called down the stairway for my mom and dad, and then my twins' names. The silence from down in the dark den was creepy as hell. I was afraid to go down there. Unfortunately, there's no door to separate the main floor from the den stairway, so sitting in the living room suddenly didn't seem very comfortable. I kept the TV on, but muted. I just felt safer with the extra light it provided. It took a while for some reason, but it finally hit me to call my parents and ask them to come home. My mom said they'd be home within half an hour. I told my mom I was scared that someone was downstairs because I heard something. She assured me that there was nothing and it was just my imagination. I hung up the phone and immediately heard the sound of wood foundation cracking under one of the carpeted steps to the den. I froze on the couch. Literally, I couldn't move a muscle, not even a finger. Then there was another crack. As silently as I could, I sat up from the couch into a half-crouched
be
position,
also.
tiptoeing to the front door.
Like
But as
I
I
always,
passed the couch
I
that
do
blocked the
that
view of the den
to make
stairway from the
like
living room,
make sure if
saw
it wasn't
something
my
in the stairway.
imagination, and
It
also
was a
that if
scream
I would
mask,
hear it again.
leering up from the stairs at me, but in a way where he was obviously not trying to get caught. The angle at which I saw the mask and the dark lighting made the sight so much more disturbing. When he saw me, though, he went the other way, back into the darkness of the den. I locked myself in my room upstairs and called my mom again to tell her what happened.
Man.
They cut their trip short and came home. Only when my parents got home did I feel safe to leave my room. My dad and I checked the whole den, every closet, every room. Luckily, there was no one. The moral of the story simply comes down to keeping your doors locked. Because apparently, this guy just helped himself through our back door.
Wow. That's why I always make sure to lock my front door, because there was a robber near my grandmother's house. Well, they broke in. It's not really that they left the door open. I don't think so.
He was a sophomore in college. I was actually only in the 8th grade. Our parents weren't home all weekend, so he was taking advantage of the opportunity, I guess. He made it abundantly clear he didn't want me in the house during the party, but fortunately I already made plans to go trick-or-treating with 2 of my friends. We all agreed it would probably be our last year trick-or-treating, so we wanted to make it a good time. We started midday right after school, the prime time where most kids were out. Most everyone answers their doors.
Is it possible that
candies.
you get too old for trick or treating? We each filled 2 bags
of candy by dark, making stops at our houses in between to bring them home, of course. But we weren't done. We weren't satisfied yet. We needed another bag, of course. After eating dinner and resting at my friend's place for a while, we went back out with empty bags and flashlights. You'll find out why in a little bit. It was probably around 9 o'clock now. Getting candy was a bit slower by now since most buckets were empty and not everyone was answering their doors.
Yeah.
An hour flew by because we were still having fun, though we didn't get much candy this time. By the time it was like 10:30 or 11, we stopped because it just seemed obnoxious to knock on people's doors this late. Everyone already went home because it was a Tuesday night, a work night and school night. But we already agreed we'd be skipping school the next day. We were all in the same homeroom and already knew nothing was going on at school tomorrow. So to us, the night was still young. So we went for a run to what locals called the Ghoul House. It was a house with some history. A couple got divorced after their child somehow died in the house, and then the wife moved out. A couple weeks later, the husband shot himself at the kitchen table. It's been fenced off ever since. Why the house hasn't been sold or torn down by now is beyond me.
I feel so bad.
When we got there, we realized how
even though it may not be true.
Dark. It stood taller than the other houses, and it had a black fence surrounding the front yard, with overgrown bushes hugging it. The front gate was pretty easy to hop. The deviance of what we were doing just made it so much more thrilling. We walked around back just to be safe, hoping no neighbors would see us. The back windows were boarded up from the inside, and the back door had a table wedged up against it. Someone clearly tried really hard to keep people out, possibly a neighbor. Through teamwork, we were able to lift the table quietly from off the door and onto the grass. The door was missing a doorknob, and it pushed in relatively easily. We were inside, and it felt weird, felt uncomfortable, and at the same time exhilarating. All of us had our flashlights, creating a decent amount of light in the otherwise pitch-black building. We were in the back living area of the house, some kind of den. The wood floors were all creaky as hell, and everything seemed to have been untouched for years. It didn't seem like anyone ever really broke in there before. That room was clear of anything interesting, so we moved on to the kitchen. An archaic fridge sat in the corner. One of my friends opened it up, and immediately the room filled with a stale, rotten, plasticky type odor. The fridge had some old empty milk and orange juice cartons. That was about it. The whole kitchen smelled foul, so we got out of there quickly. Next was the living room, and this room was just creepy. Something about it, I don't know, it just made you think that any time you turned around, there'd be someone standing in one of the corners.
Oh, man.
One of my friends pointed his light up and said, "Look at that." There was a giant hole in the ceiling, which led right up to a room upstairs. As my other friend and I also shined our lights up there was a couple thumps from right above us. We all shut our lights. I got that horrible, painful feeling in my heart area from what I just heard.
I could feel that in my stomach, that I'm like in the house.
One friend whispered we should go up there, see what it was. My other friend and I said absolutely no way and started tiptoeing to the back door. But he was persistent. He didn't follow us. Instead, he went upstairs.
It's his fault, man.
He didn't even make a good effort at being quiet about it. We kind of felt like we had to wait for him down in the living room now, so we stayed put. We heard his footsteps upstairs now, crossing the upstairs of the house, until he stopped right above us. My eyes were adjusted to the dark by this point, so even without our flashlights on, I was able to see the figure of my friend, standing above us, looking down through that hole in the ceiling. I tried whispering up there loud enough so that he could hear, but apparently he couldn't. I didn't want to get any louder, but suddenly we heard footsteps coming from the stairway in the living room. We both turned on our flashlights and shined them up to the top of the staircase to see our other friend walking down the stairs. The realization set in immediately, and neither of us had the balls to shine our lights up to that hole in the ceiling to see who was actually standing there. I just screamed run, and we all booked it to the back door, out the house, and to one of my friend's house.
Oh, man.
The friend who went upstairs said he smelled something foul up there, like a rotting carcass, and that he also heard breathing coming from one of the rooms. To this day, we have no idea who was in that house, but it seemed unlikely that it was just another curious wanderer, given how boarded up the house was. To say the least, we don't go there anymore.
Good, thank God. Oh, man. Wow. Alright, so to be honest, I thought that one of the two stories, the first one and the third one, was the most scary. So comment down below what you guys thought, which story was the most scariest. I thought 1 and 3 was the most scariest. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications. I can't believe we're almost up to 550 subscribers, and then after that 600, man. I'm actually really surprised of the journey that I've came through on my channel, on my new channel. So thank you guys so much for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed your Halloween. Make sure you guys comment down below what costumes that you're being for Halloween. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.
And it's a graveyard smash. And it's a graveyard smash. You'll catch on in a while. You'll catch on in a while. And it's a graveyard smash.